And what it is, it's the use of a slip. This is the slip. I made a whole bunch, so it'll be around for a while if we want to play with it another time. And then I have two different color solutions that are a mixture of oxide and apple cider vinegar. So the slip is created with a material called ball clay, so it's an alkaline-based material. The color is an acid-based material. So the way that this works is I'm going to take this pot, right? It has 4 sides on it. I already did 3 sides because I've just been experimenting with my technique a little bit to find the right solution combination of the juice. The potters call this the juice.
Cider.
So that's not 50-50 or 30?
It's not 50-50. What it is 4 ounces of apple cider vinegar with 2 tablespoons of oxide. However, I still have to play with it a little bit after that to get it right. So it's not exactly that formula.
How do you know it's right?
When I drop it on there and it does what I want it to do.
Okay.
Okay. In other words, if I drop it on and it doesn't spread out very far, I think I don't have enough vinegar. I need more.
So that's 4 ounces, 2 vinegar, 2 tablespoons.
4 ounces of vinegar to
That's
2
your
tablespoons color. Right? And so then I tried it. And I thought, then I added a little more acid to the mixture because it didn't seem like it was wicking out very much. So, so that's part of the reason. What I want is 4 different sides. Now, the problem with this can be if you, for instance, if I take this whole pot and I dip it into that slip and I pull it out, the slip has a lot of water in it. If the pot absorbs a lot of that water and I'm holding it, it may fall apart in my hands because as it absorbs the water, it gets soft. So, for instance, this pot is fairly thick and it's fairly dry. So, because I know when I put the slip on, it's going to soften the clay underneath. Oh. And if I'm holding it and it gets soft and it's heavy, what might happen? My finger might just poke right through the side. So, I did one side at a time in this instance, and I used the ladle to pour the slip onto one side, and then I dropped the stuff on. Because if I had done this all at once, dunked it, pulled it up, I needed 2 more arms to be able to dip, to hold it and do the dripping. I call it plop and drop. So, if you do it by yourself, you have to take that into consideration. I need to be able to dip it, or pour this white slip on, hold it, and then drop the material onto it. If that's too much for you, you need a buddy to help you with it. You need one person to hold it and one person to plop it.
Do you do the plopping right after you put the slip on?
The plopping works best while the slip is still wet.
In a horizontal.
However.
I didn't say that.
However you want to do it.
However, if you hold it vertically like this, as it wicks out, it's going to tend to go down. If I hold it horizontally, it's going to tend to go towards the side. The gravity is going to pull it in a direction down. So that's another variable about how you want this pattern, like you can see it. This one, I rested like this afterwards, and this one, I did not. I held it like this for a while. This is the first one. This was the second one. And then this was the last one. And each time I played around, I added a little more acid to my mixture. So.
Are those the only 2 colors you can use, black and rust?
That's a good question. Well, I tried a couple other colors. The only colors I've seen other potters use are those. And people ask me, well, I want a green. And for some, I have this really strange read. It's like, you know, if green would work, I think somebody else would have tried it over.
Yeah.
And I'd see one of these with green, but I haven't. So that tells me green probably doesn't work very good. And unless I'm willing to experiment. Well, if I'm up for experimenting, I could, but I don't want to experiment on this nice piece that I spent time making, you see. Right? So, and I'm saying that, and you say, well, that's obvious, Jay. Well, in the heat of the moment, when you're doing this and your adrenaline is up, you do things that you don't ordinarily do. So I'm warning you in advance to prepare and to also remind you as you do this to breathe, slow down a little bit, and pay attention to what you're doing. Because you get excited and there's all these people standing around and you do things way more rapidly than you should. Take turns. That's a good idea too. And don't be a backseat driver in class today. Okay? When you're not doing yours, don't tell somebody else how to do theirs. Okay? Okay?
I'll try.
I know it's against all of your nature, but all right. So I have one more panel to do, and I will do that. And you need to work kind of quick. Okay, so this is pretty firm now. I can barely get my nail into it. And I'm going to use a ladle. Whoa, yeah.
Right away, you do it right away.
Oh my God.
That much, huh?
Sorry. What does that work? Be that thing.
See what happens when you get a crowd around? You're not a little, carried away, and look, it's a little messy. Oh, look at that though. Now it's going back down. There you go. Backseat driver.
Bottom of the pot is a
Oh.
lump.
Ooh, I don't like that.
You can wipe it off if you don't like where it's running.
I don't know. What do you
I
think?
like that.
Can you start over?
Wow, you need to do that?
Do the over.
That is sick.
Oh, that looks good.
So you have to do it before it's dry.
Yes, while it's wet.
I think you needed more newspaper.
I think so.
It's an outside project.
Well, everything's an outside project for me. So.
Maybe leave it to us since you're out of this and then we'll be busy. I'm sort of
Okay, I can. Nothing. I didn't say anything. I just talked to myself.
We heard nothing.
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
Before you set it down, you have stuff on the bottom though, just so you
You
know.
can lay it on his side.
You want the sponge to wipe up the bottom?
No.
Oh, look at
Here,
nice.
you.
Nice.
Anyway, it's nice because it's naturally formed. That's nice too. It's a special size, like a menu.
But now I want questions. Does anybody have any questions about what I just did? If I leave the room and leave this stuff here, What are you going to do with it?